Hey everybody, this is Jason Creel. In today's video, I'm going after sedges in the lawn. I'm going after Nutsedge and I'm going after Kalinga, and I'm testing 5 different products, and we're going to show you the results in this video. Let me show you the products. I'm going to show you the enemy, the sedge, and the lawn, and then we're going to see which one of these products can deliver great results. Today's video is sponsored by my friends at Graham Spray Equipment. If you need a spray rig on the back of your truck, then go to grahamse.com. Let's first talk about the products we are going to be testing out today. Maybe if you're a fan of the channel, if you're in the lawn care business, you might be familiar with these. The products are Certainty, Sedge, Katana, Blindside, and Dismiss NXT. Now I want to acknowledge a few things about this test. One, to know how effective it truly is, we probably need to carry this video on into next year to see how much of the sedge actually died and doesn't come back next year versus how much we suppress. So that is going to be a failure of the video because we're not carrying on to next year. 2, I acknowledge that there are some other sedge products that we don't have available to test in this video. It would be great to have a Vexix, Celero. I'm sure there's others that I could think of that would also have very much effectiveness on sedges. So it's not every sedge product in the whole world that's being tested today, but we are testing 5. So I'm excited about the 5 we've got, and we're going to see the results. And the other thing I want to acknowledge is the nutsedge we're spraying is purple nutsedge and not yellow nutsedge. That makes a difference. Some of these products are going to be more effective on yellow nutsedge, but not as much on purple nutsedge. And we also have Kalinga. It would be ideal to spray purple nutsedge, yellow nutsedge, and then Kalinga, and maybe even various types of Kalinga. But we have purple nutsedge and we have Kalinga, I believe false green Kalinga. I'm not 100% sure on that. And we're going to test these 5 products out, and we're going to see what happens. All right, if you look at the active ingredients, you got Dismiss NXT, which is Sulfentrazone, Sulfentrazone. You got Blindside, which is Sulfentrazone, Metsulfuron. You got Katana, which says Flazosulfuron. I'm probably not saying that right. Sedge, Halosulfuron. And Certainty, Sulfosulfuron. Okay, pronunciation probably needs some correction. The other thing I've done is I've already marked out an area of the yard that has a ton of nutsedge. I've got 5 flag markings in the lawn with the name of each herbicide represented here. So we're going to spray each section with the herbicides, and then we're going to see what happens. So let's take a look. This is the purple nutsedge. You can see purple nutsedge is typically darker than yellow nutsedge. It typically grows a little flatter, not quite as upright. And the end of the plant is typically a little duller point than on yellow nutsedge. So I have a lot of purple nutsedge in this area. As you can see, it likes water. If you've got a lot of nutsedge, you might want to consider watering your grass less often. You may be soaking it good once a week versus water multiple times. Or if you have a drainage problem, maybe you can try to get your drainage problem fixed. This particular area of this lawn holds water, and it is a nutsedge factory. Wear your PPE, follow the label, and on all these products we have it mixed at the high rate, and I spray lightly, okay? That's typically the way I mix stuff, high rate, spray lightly when I'm spot treating so that my jug will go further. And all of them have non-ionic surfactant in the jug along with the active ingredients that are in the herbicides. Okay, I'm going to try to make as even an application as I can for all 5 products, not to give an unfair advantage to one or the other. First up is Blindside. I will acknowledge Blindside. This is not going to be a strong suit, going to be better on yellow nutsedge and Kalinga, but we're going to give it a test on the purple nutsedge and see how it does. Next up is Dismiss NXT. I'm also hoping to leave plenty of nutsedge that is to be untreated so we can compare what's been treated with what has been not treated. Next up will be Sedge. Next up in the backpack sprayer will be Katana. And last but not least will be Certainty. Time to relocate and find this Kalinga. We're going to test these same 5 products on Kalinga. So you can see what we're up against. This is the Kalinga here. Again, I think this is false green Kalinga, which is the most common type. I feel like I've seen it in my lawns. You can see the little, I don't know if that's a seed head. I always call it a little spiky ball that sticks up on it. But this is what we're going against. So we may just be 1 or 2 clumps for each herbicide. We're going to start with Blindside, which I think will be a strong suit. Do me a favor, if you want to, you can pause the video right here. Go ahead and leave a comment and let me know which product you think is going to win on both the purple nutsedge and on the Kalinga. Or if you have another product, let me hear from you. And then as you get to the video, see if you're right. If you get to the end, see if you are correct with the results we are showing in this video. I'm not going to make a bold prediction. I can think about it in my head. I've got a couple I think are going to be really strong on the Kalinga. A couple I think are going to be really strong on the nutsedge. But I like to see if one can do great on both options. So let's get the spray and Blindsides up first. We'll be going in a little bit different order. Thankfully, I've got the names of the herbicide on the back of the flags. We're going with Certainty for second. Next up is Sedge. Next up is Dismiss NXT. And last up is Katana. We're going to give these herbicides some time to work and we will be checking back on the results. All right, I believe we're 5 days in after the sedge application. Let's check on the results. I'll be honest, as I initially looked down here, can't even apparent what I'm seeing from, hopefully you can see it on the camera. You see some browning there, and the first two, without even looking at it, I thought these are the ones that's got the Sulfentrazone in it, which is the active ingredient in Dismiss. So you can see what you're getting here on the first one is Blindside. And what I like to see here is there's very little discoloration of the Bermuda turf, which is good. Now in other grass types it may be a little bit more discoloration, but we're seeing some definite damage to the purple nutsedge. Now again, I think Blindside works a little better on yellow nutsedge and on Kalinga, but definitely getting some results here. So when you cut it, is it gonna keep it down? Maybe. I probably will mow the grass before this video is over and just see what happens and see if it grows back or not. But initially you get that quick result, quick burn down action with Blindside. And the next one is our Dismiss NXT, and I would say it's probably even a little bit more extreme results, a little bit more discoloration. Not a lot more. Both of them had great results, but another good thing, again, I don't see a lot of discoloration in the Bermuda grass, so that's good. Now the other three, just looking from a distance, I'll be honest, I don't see a whole lot happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the end these other three end up being our best three versus those, which are going to give some quick burn down, but maybe not the longevity of results. So this is Sedge. Looks like almost nothing happening. And then Katana, I do see a little discoloration in there going on from the Katana application. And the last one is Certainty. And again, virtually nothing happening. Again, if I mowed it right now, would these stop growing and not come back for a while? I'm not sure. We're gonna give a little bit more time and see what happens on the next update. What about the Kalinga? Are the results much different? Well, let's see what we got here on the first flag, Blindside. One thing I noticed on the Blindside, I am seeing some discoloration on the Bermuda grass, which makes me think I might have sprayed a little bit heavier than I did on the nutsedge. And you can see maybe similar results on the discoloration, maybe not quite as noticeable as it was on the nutsedge. Next up is Certainty, seeing just a little bit of discoloration on that as well, hopefully suppressing the growth. Sedge, this is not going to be its strong suit, I have a feeling. Not a whole lot happening with that. Dismiss NXT, I do expect this to be pretty good. Nothing great, nothing, again, not as noticeable as it is on the nutsedge early on. Lastly, we've got Katana, and again, not much going on as well. So one thing you notice, unless you're using Dismiss NXT or Blindside, it might be a little bit of a slow go. It's going to take some time to get the results. So we'll keep watching and give you an update soon. Well, it's been about 10 days since the initial application, so finally something's happened. If you're killing sedges, don't get in a big hurry. If you're in a big hurry, I'll show you which products to use. But if you're not in a big hurry, it can take some time. It's not as fast as just knocking out some simple broadleaf weed in your yard. Let's see what's going on. All right, let me give you the distance view here. You see contestant number 1, contestant number 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see some stuff happening from a distance. Is there a little bit of turf burn? Maybe a little, but it's not bad, to be honest with you. And some of it might look like turf burn, but it's actually the weed beginning to discolor, which is a good thing. Let's take them one at a time and make some observations. So first up is Blindside. Okay, Blindside, what I do notice is it did take a little bit of the shine out of the grass. So you can see there, it's a darker green here, but where I sprayed, it's not brown. I wouldn't say yellow either. It did take a little of the green tint off of it, if you would. A lighter color green. So we got that quick burn down. The other thing I want to show you what happened was I mowed the grass the other day, and what I tried to do intentionally was to cut some of the area that had been sprayed and not cut some of the area that had been sprayed. So you can obviously see this part was not cut, but you can see down here in the turf there's some that are brown that have been cut. And what I'm noticing is that, you know, they're not growing back. It's been several days since I mowed, so that's a good thing. So it damaged them. They're not bouncing right back. So Blindside is doing a good job. It's not a great job. I don't think it's killing it dead. We've got that initial quick burn down. If you want it burned down quick, use something like Blindside or our next contestant, which is Dismiss NXT. So Blindside and Dismiss NXT, regular Dismiss, they all got Sulfentrazone in it. It's going to give you that quick burn down. Now, the Dismiss NXT, it seems like even a little bit more extreme results as far as the discoloration. Now, it was maybe a little thicker patch of sedge here too, so that made a little bit of difference. But same thing, where it's been mowed, you can see here, it's not really growing back. And of course, this has not been mowed, it's just highly discolored. So we're gonna give it a little bit more time, see if it does grow back at all. And we'll probably have one more checkup before we wrap up the video. Next up is Pro Sedge. And while the results are not as dramatic as far as the discoloration, you see it where it's been mowed, and again, it's not growing. And you say, Jason, well, what? Maybe you just mowed and it's not growing back because it hadn't had time. Well, if you look over here, sedges that were mowed that were not treated, and they are growing back. So there's a difference in those. Mowed but not treated, mowed, treated, treated but not mowed. Okay, the Pro Sedge, not as dramatic discoloration. I don't think there's any damage to the turf. Blindside probably give us the most damage, but I didn't think it was anything to really get worked up about. Good results on the Pro Sedge as well. We'll continue to watch this and see how it looks. Katana's up next. Be honest, not much happening. And I don't know. Well, I say not much happening. Again, same situation where it was cut. It's not really growing back. It's not turning colors much at all. And again, where you can see where it wasn't sprayed, it's growing taller. So maybe it's working a little bit. I don't know. I don't think Katana, this is not its specialty. It's a great product for getting cool season grasses out of your warm season lawn. It works on a lot of weeds. So, I mean, it's a great product. I'm not down on Katana at all. This is just not its strong suit. We're talking about dealing with purple nutsedge right here. Certainty is also doing a good job. Very similar results. Not as much discoloration as Blindside or Dismiss NXT, but it is certainly turning it yellow. Just took a little time to get there, and what's been cut is not growing back, and you can see it's starting to turn color. So pretty happy with what I'm seeing with the results. And again, you want to compare some that has not been sprayed and it was cut, and it's already jumping back, growing so fast. See what's going on with it. Now this one is showing the most visible results. Let me see what the flag says. Which one am I looking at here? And it is Blindside. So, you know, sometimes I've always thought Blindside was great on Kalinga as far as giving you an initial burn down, and it's giving us the most dramatic results. Now you might have to deal with a little bit of turf burn, but if you want your Kalinga to look like that really quick, then Blindside's great for that. Next up, got Certainty. You can see some stuff happening, nothing as dramatic, but You can compare that with some that hasn't been treated, and you can see it's looking a little more mature. So we're gonna continue to watch it and see what's going on. Over here, this is gonna be Dismiss NXT, so also doing a great job. The Sulfentrazone, I guess, is burning this up like it did the Nutsedge. Got Pro Sedge over here, and this is not gonna be its strong suit, but it's, you know, maybe having some effect. It's gonna be better on the Nutsedge, in my opinion. And then lastly, it's gonna be Katana. I may need to owe an apology to Katana for putting it in a contest it was not really suited for. And if I can put it in a how to kill cool season grasses out of your warm season lawn contest, I think it will hold its own quite well. All right, that's the update. We'll check back one more time and wrap up the video. I want to give you my final checkup on the Nutsedge and on the Kalinga, and let's make some observations and see what our conclusions are. Probably about 2.5 weeks after the initial application, and I think we can come to some conclusions. Now, again, if you want to really know how great this works, and maybe you carry it on into next year and see how much of this comes back next year, I'm not going to do that. Or even carrying it on another month or two to see how long the sedges stay down before they start growing back, because I do think they will grow back. But I think we've learned a lot, even just carrying it out for 2.5 weeks or so, which is what we've done. So let's look at the first application here. First one was some Blindside, got really good burn down results. We did notice that it did ding up the turf a little bit, took a little green out of the turf, and even turned some of the tips brown on the Bermuda, but nothing too crazy. So you guys got to be careful, especially in hot weather. But if you want a quick burn down, then Blindside definitely delivered that for us. And on all of these, you can pretty much tell where it's been cut, where the grass has been mowed, it's really not growing back. Now, do I think it's gonna grow back? Yes, I do think it will eventually grow back, but that'll hold it down for a while. Next up, Dismiss NXT also has Sulfentrazone in it, so you're gonna get similar results to pretty serious discoloration in the Nutsedge, and then where it's been cut here, you can see where it's basically the same height as the Bermuda grass. So very similar. It seems like a little bit less turf burn on the Dismiss NXT. Next up was Pro Sedge, was slower out of the gate, but again, what I'm looking at is not this, which is yellow. That's one thing, but over here where it's been cut, and you can see it's just not growing back. So I'm just trying to see what's gonna hold it down the longest, because you see over here on the Dismiss NXT, and maybe I didn't get quite as good a coverage in some of those areas, but it may be bouncing back a little faster. Again, another successful test run here as it's holding it down to the level of the turf. Just so you can see what it looks like when it's not been sprayed, this is obviously shooting up way above the Bermuda grass. Our fourth sample was Katana. I can see just a little bit of discoloration, but honestly, this is not going to be a strong suit for Katana. Even checking the label, it does have purple and yellow Nutsedge on the label, but it says it will require multiple apps. So this is going to be not a strong suit for Katana, but like I said, Katana does have some great purposes. Very good for getting cool season grasses out of your warm season lawn. And lastly, we've got Certainty. Very similar results to the Pro Sedge, keeping it down, a lot of discoloration, and when it's cut, it's not growing back. So I would say on the Nutsedge, I would say Katana obviously did not do a great job. Pro Sedge Certainty did very good with minimal turf burn, if any at all. The Dismiss NXT and Blindside give you that quick burn down, but a little bit of discoloration of the turf, Blindside being the most discoloration. Let's move on and check the Kalinga. Hey, first up is the Blindside on the Kalinga. Show you something that hasn't been treated. You can see what it looks like, nice and green. And when you get over here to the Blindside, you're gonna see the most extreme results on the Blindside. So it's turned it brown. I feel confident if that was mowed, it would keep it down for quite some time. So very good results on the Blindside. When it comes to Kalinga, again, you may have a little bit of turf discoloration, so understand that when you apply. Next up is Certainty. This grass has not been cut, so I can't really tell like I could on the Nutsedge if it's gonna grow back as quickly or not, but you can see some discoloration, and I got a feeling if it was cut that it would keep it down for a while, but not nearly as noticeable results on the Certainty as we got on the Blindside. The next best results we got is from Dismiss NXT. Again, the Sulfentrazone is doing a great job in both the NXT and Blindside. So not quite as good a results as far as just visible results as the Blindside, but maybe a little less turf burn, but I would say very good results. Pro Sedge, you see a little bit happening. It's going to be a lot stronger in my opinion on the Nutsedge than it is on Kalinga, but it does look like it had some effectiveness. Lastly is the Katana. Again, a little bit of effectiveness on it as well, similar to Pro Sedge. Not great results, but you can definitely see a little bit of discoloration in the Kalinga. I would love to hear from you in the comments on products that you use for Kalinga, yellow nutsedge, purple nutsedge. What's your go-to combinations you're out there spot treating weeds with? And you can see there's going to be strengths and weaknesses to all of them. Like I feel like I could go out there like I do a lot of times with Celsius and Certainty, and it's going to do a pretty good job on a lot of weeds. Now, is it the absolute best product for every weed? No, but I think you'd get pretty good results on your sedges, both Kalinga and Nutsedge. If you just have all Kalinga, then maybe you want to go out there with Blindside or Dismiss NXT. If you just have all Nutsedge, or primarily Nutsedge, then you might want to go with a Pro Sedge or Certainty or something like that. So it kind of depends on the situation, but I thought it'd be helpful for you to see it in the video. If you think about getting into weed control and fertilization, then you can go to lawncarelife.com. There's the Weed Control and Fertilization Academy, as well as a bunch of other resources, pricing charts, things like that available for you there. Appreciate you watching. You can check out some of these suggested videos popping up for you now, and we'll see you in the next video.